Let's go. Where's the F1 stuff? There's the F1 stuff. Do it out here then, because someone still hasn't created the goddamn thing. Hello! Did everyone hear me properly? Trying to see whether or not Ryan has put up his stream yet. He has not. We're using that here because someone really desperately needs to make a goddamn F1 roll, because apparently they still don't. If they do, they need to make it actually say F1 in the goddamn name. Saying that F1 doesn't have its with the F125. Might be F125. So S7. Yeah, someone needs to refix the name for that role. Jesus Christ. Why would I? Never mind. It is what it is, pretty much. But either way, we've got the here. Everyone in that chat's got a ping. Not my responsibility from here on out. All right. Welcome to week number 6. 3 weeks to go on the season. Who is going to come out on top? Where are we at in terms of the standings? Hey, Bloodwave. What are we looking at in terms of the standings here then? So Stell and Wolgata have a 28-point lead of the Constructors' Championship. They're going to have to do something to stop that. And right now, in the drivers, you've got Stell on 85, then BR4 on 78, then Steger on 70, and then Jishnu on 67. Did I miss a penalty last week? Because I'm 99% sure Steger won the race. Oh, yeah. Steger got penalties. That's fair enough. That leaves us where we are today then. Championship lead at 7 points. So if BR4 wins wins this race, he can go to the top of the championship tonight. There's only 13 people here tonight. Jesus. Why is there only 13? Damn. Alright, let's go. Looks like everyone's heading in to the lobby at the moment. Should believe 18 minutes of qualifying followed by 22 laps of the race. Also doing some eSports stuff while I'm at it. But yeah, while we wait, it shouldn't be too much longer now. We're actually going in to the lobby. And then we'll get 18 minutes on the clock. And so it's dry in qualifying. Dry in qualifying at Spa. Not sure what's going to be the race. The group. There's everything we need. All the different settings on the game right now. I need for my qualifying here. We'll figure out how it is going to unfold in a minute. BL4 and Stel, your big names in this race then. Pole will be a 40.8 or lower. That could be. I'm not particularly sure where the benchmark is actually going to be, but I reckon it's going to be Stel, to be completely honest with you. I had to take a guess. Oh, we out. We've got someone out of the pit lane. All right, so we are getting going then. So we're going to watch with DDK because he is the first one out. We'll see what he can do then when he gets round the lap. We're currently watching as we go through. But yeah, first laps here in Spa. Going through Stavolo now with the Aston Martin. We've got everyone else, pretty much everyone else, out on a lap. Alright, here we go, down to the line with DDK for the first time tonight here. The first qualifying lap is about to get underway, and we are properly off in qualifying after about 2.5 minutes here. We'll see what DDK can actually do here in this first lap. Head through La Source and now down towards Rouge. And then up to the top of the hill of Radion. We've got yellow flag to people try and fight it out. Fight out some sort of position, some sort of idea of where they can go in the qualifying order. 30.6 is the first sector up on the board. I'll say as we go down the line here then. DDK down the hill. Go through Pion for the first time. And he goes round. It didn't look too exciting on the entrance, I'll say that much. We'll see if he can improve it through the latter part of the lap. 1:14.6 is the end of the second sector here. We'll go through and take a look what everyone else is doing as they go through the lap. Redstone is the next one up. It's 1:13.1, so DDK's lap is not going to be that impressive here in the slightest. We'll go to the line, DDK. 42-9. I feel like that's going to get beaten fairly quickly. I feel like that's going to get beaten almost immediately. Redstone, the next person over the line to set a lap. I think this is going to get beaten on the spot. That is a 40.8. That'll definitely be a qualifying pole of 40.8 or lower now. That's a certain. No way, there's no improvement on that time today. Owen into the 42.6s. Lars to the next one to the line. 14.8 out of his first two sectors. Not an impressive lap at all. 30.7 from the first sector for Posey as well. We'll actually watch him go through the lap. BR4 is about to cross the line. Stealth 41.8. Needs to find an entire second just to get himself into the fight for the lead. Yellow flagged in sector 1 is a Haas. BR4 41.5. Redstone has absolutely lit the field up in this first, in these banker laps in qualifying, completely destroying the entire grid. With that lap time, 7/10 of a second is currently the gap. Nakusa 43.3. Again, it's just not really impressive. Montecat in there with Owen. Jaguar 42.2 is good enough for fourth right now. Surely someone's going to find a better time than 41.5 to try and challenge Redstone. We go to the line. Steger's still in the pits. 43.6 for Posey. There we go. Like Noble just did a 41.5. 5 thousandths of a second slower than BR4. He realistically in the fight today then. And again, the Alpines are in cruise control of this Constructors' Championship. And they look to kind of stamp their authority on that today. 2 races left of the season after this one. Stell outdoes BR4 today. It might be over before we even get started in for the final couple of weeks. Well, currently on Miez. Oh, that almost went disastrous there as he went through the second chicane. In the second sector at Spa. You have got to do better than that. You now go through Stavalo. His time is not going to be anything special here. Everyone else piling back into the pits. DDK will be the next one in. Mieszko to the line now then. I would be surprised if he's even in the 43s. He's actually 43.2. That's good enough for 10 here. For 10th here. Evening, Alessandra. That means we get a couple people on outlap. Steger is one of those. Steger is probably one of the favourites for today as well. So we get to see how he's going to go through this one today. Spa on the outside there. Well, on the outside of the source, a lot of gravel now. We got a lot of run up the hill. And we go down toward down the camel straight into the Lacombe chicane here at the end of the first sector. It's a 30.4. It's a quite a bit way better than what we saw people like DDK do in the first sector earlier on in the night. You got Steger here going down the hill for the first time here. Is he going to be able to do anything into beyond and then into the end of the second sector? He's got to find some time on Redstone in particular. Redstone 7/10 clear of the entire grid. No one is anywhere near him. 3/4 of a second is actually the advantage in the session so far. You get a very lonely race for him out at front. If that ends up being the case, full stop, 13-8 for Steger here through 2 sectors. Can he challenge Redstone? He's going to be 32 as he heads up to the bus stop chicane. 35 through the first corner of the bus stop chicane on the exit. He runs to the line. Is it good enough? No, it's not. It's only good enough for 4th. 41-7 beats out Stell, but not ahead of Noble, not ahead of BR4, and entire second off the back of Redstone, who is absolutely flying. Let's have a look at Stell then. Currently in 5th, needs to respond, has a 7-point gap in the championship right now. If it was to end like this, that championship gap would be cut down quite some way. What, 18, 15, 12, 10. It actually goes switch the other way. BR4 would take the lead of the championship by a point. So he's got to find at least one position here, or have BR4 lose out. Either or. He's currently 3 hundredths of a second up. Again, not really anything to gain out of that. Put him into the 41.7s for the first time, but wouldn't really do too much damage to the rest of the grid. We go through the end of the second sector here with Stell. We know we're looking at somewhere in the region of a 112, 113 low. It's actually up a 10th and a half of 114.0. Again, I feel like there's probably more time in that. As we go towards Blue Blanchemont now. Round he goes toward the bus stop chicane. Is he going to better his time? And if he is, by how much? The current position he'd be in would be 4th if he can hold on to what he got through the first 2 sectors. To the line he goes, 41.5. And that's actually good enough for 2nd. You can, with Redstone just being so clear of the entire grid, you got to think that someone somewhere is going to be able to pose a threat. See the next one to the line then. Owen Malk is the next one to the line. What he's got right now will put him up into 8th. We need to find an extra 10th and a half to get out of, above Lars. We go to the line now. 42, 42, 3, and he does beat Lars out. Up into 7th goes Owen. Next one to the line is a McLaren. The question is, which McLaren is it? It's 2 tenths and 2.5 tenths up, and it's BR4. To the line he goes, and it's a 41.4, only ended up a 10th up. And we are now actually under 6 tenths of a second behind Redstone. Very slowly but surely closing in on him. The 2 Aston Martins are driving beside each other. Not sure how helpful this is. And I'm pretty sure Lars is... sure, that's a pit lane entry, I guess, DDK. That was one of the pit lane entries all time. There goes Posey to the line. It's a 43.3. Still not enough on anyone on the grid. Redstone's the next one. And he's into the pits. Noble Guard to the 41.3. He's up in the 2nd now. So, Stell into the pits as well. Jaguar currently up by 3 thousandths of a second. Owen Malk is coming into the pit, so he will stick with the Ferrari. Pretty sure it's Mieszko behind. And then you go back to the McLarens. The McLarens should both be coming in at the end of this lap. Surely the very first lap of Redstone's is not going to be the best for the entire session, right? You'd feel like they'd get somewhat close enough to that. Here we go. Jaguar to the line. 41, 42, 2. Yeah, not really doing an awful lot there. Let's see if there's going to be anything else in this then. Noble Gar, I believe, is coming into the pits. Who's doing the pits? So we got Mieszko out right now. That's a lap invalidation for Posey, but he's coming into the pits anyway. Noble Garter should follow him. Jaguar will as well. Redstone's come out for his final lap of the session. Let's see if he can beat that 40.8. Are we going under 40.8? That's the big question. That was the benchmark that Jishnu was saying in chat that we should be able to get under. Right now, it's not looking positive that we are going to get under that. The gap has actually dropped to about 0.5 of a second, actually inside half a second on Redstone at the front now. The rest of the group is slowly but surely coming to pace. Probably taking far too long by the time we get to it. I think that was an entire second there from years ago, was it not? That would be good enough for the top 5. For the top 6, sorry, if I saw that number correctly. If I saw that number incorrectly, he's staying where he is. We go to the line now. Mieszko round the bus stop chicane. He's in a far better place than he has been prior. It was an entire second, 1 1/4, up into 6 he goes. 41.9, that's a much better time. Who is the next one to the line? Then that'll be Mieszko's qualifying session over and done with. Invalidated lap there. Pretty sure that'll be his qualifying session over and done with. I think it's also Jaguar's qualifying session over and done with. As we now watch Redstone over the line. Is he going to beat his time? Is there anything in this whatsoever? Or is he going to have to sit and wait for the rest of the group to go try again? The rest of the group trying to make their way down the hill on their outlaps right now. Redstone might end up encountering a little bit of carnage. He's going to go through. He's currently a 10th down. A 10.5 down on his time. We might not be going into that 40.7s. After all. Round the corner, down the hill. Is there going to be anything to this? He is going to have to find a lot of time to beat this one. Which is fortunate for him that the rest of the group are so far off in the first place. Unless someone in the back there can put in one hell of a lap. And Redstone did find something in that second sector. He halved the deficit to his own time. He now needs to find about a 10th in this final sector to drop into that 40.7. We are done for a few drivers. Monster Cat's session is over. Noble Garter's session is over. Those two took too long. Jaguar was in the pits anyway. Redstone to the line. Is there anything in this to try and beat his 40.8? There is not. Now we get to go to an Aston Martin then. It is not Lars, it's DDK, who's now 0.6 of a second quicker than his best time. That would be good enough for 8th as it stands, and only for 8th as it stands, ahead of the Williams. So he's going to have to find something more in this final sector here to take him up above Jaguar and try and steal 7th. We go round the bus stop chicane. DDK trying to get himself into a 41 if he can do it. He can't. It's a 42.0. He does beat Jaguar. There is a Williams to the line behind. Up to 10th. Not quite enough to beat DDK. Followed by Lars, who's a 10th up. That won't give him anything as it stands. He's got to find something here. He does, and he beats Jaguar barely, but he does beat Jaguar. not Posey next, which means it's BR4 who is a 10th down on his time. So that's 41 not going anywhere. That's only good enough for third. Stell's going to have to go and try something. Steger's going to have to go and try something here as well. It doesn't look like Steger has. It's a 41.3. 8,007 second quicker than Noble. Good enough for second at the moment. Stell is only a 10th up. He doesn't even finish quicker. Stell only good enough for fifth. It's the championship leader, and the championship second place right now is only good enough for fourth. Unless Posey's invalidated lap, so that's Redstone. 5/10 clear of the entire grid. And this will get a very lonely night for him indeed if he can keep the car on the track. There we go, we're going around just watching these guys. When these guys go into the pits, we will be pretty much set for the actual qualifying session to end. I think that's it. Yep, that is the end of the qualifying session. Redstone in cruise control of that session. Look at that. 0.488 at pole. Well, only two guys within half a second. There's only only four other guys within an entire second. Redstone out here showing some class in the first in the qualifying session here tonight. And it's raining! It's raining for the actual race! Let's see what everyone's going to do in the rain now. They're going to have to change a few things. If they're even able to, because Park Fermi is a thing. I don't even know if they're going to be able to change some of these setups. They're going to have they put the wets on. The wet setups on here. Let's see. It shouldn't be too long before we get going now then. Not sure what people are doing. They are taking quite a decent length of time to get things going here. We don't have much to do in terms of strategy either, because you'll be on the intermediates for a while. Right, we are actually going to get ready then. That time, we are off for a formation lap. We thought we were about to get some actual real inspired F1 game here where we just didn't race at all. Everyone on the intermediate tyres. See it barreling down onto the track here, the rain. So it's Redstone, followed by Steger, then it's Noble. And BL4 on the second row. Third row is Stel and Mietsko. And then we got DDK and Owen on row 5. On row 4, sorry. Yeah, row 4, I can't count. Then we got row 5 for Lars and Jaguar. And then Nakuda and Monster on row 6 with Posey at the rear of the field. Possible race strategies indicate that we might be going through this weather the entire time. And we are going to go for 22 laps of this race. All right, let's see how everything is going to unfold here then. Formation lap to the line and then a standing start. Yeah, Spa in the rain. Anyone getting any flashbacks yet? Oh, that didn't look too great there for Redstone. Trying to warm up his tyres, almost went round. Montecar's fans. Yeah, Montecar does have fans apparently. Alright, now everyone's going to get themselves set up on the grid then. The inside line for Redstone. The inside line for Redstone. We've got Steger on the outside heading into Lassard. Everyone getting themselves ready to try and block off their overtaking part. Well, someone who's about to overtake them. Redstone is very much pointed to the outside. Steger pointing a little to the inside. You can make. I think Redstone's about to make this painfully clear of what he plans to do down into La Sauce. And we're about to find out what that is. 3, 4, 5 red lights. There's lights out and away we go. It looks like Steger may have got a far better start here. Because Steger's going to go around the outside. They came together into turn 1. Redstone just about keeps it together and holds the lead. BR4 gets Noble Gutter off the start. And up into third goes the championship rival. Still in fifth right now. Would still retain the lead of the championship, but his teammate directly in front of him now. I would very much assume that his teammate's going to let him go. We go down toward the column for the first time. Stel and Noble, those two are fighting it out, and they've come together! They've come together, the two teammates have come together, and Noble Gutter is the one that loses out. And Redstone is dropping from, dropped to Steger, and now dropped to BR4 as well. As Steger hits the lead of the race. And BR4, the championship rival of Stel, who's currently in fourth, is into second. Redstone needs to go dry now. That's a bit wide, that's probably a warning. That's the first Redstone, that's the first track limit for Redstone tonight then. Monster's in the back of the grid already. He's fighting out with Owen, and Posey is up into 11th. These two fighting out. Not really anything coming from that. Jaguar is not going to be able to get past Nakusa as we head in towards Stavalo. Actually heading out of Stavalo now with the group at the front. Already split into a front 5 and the rest of the pack. There will not be any DRS until it stops raining. I'm not entirely sure if it will stop raining. Right now, BR4 looks to be the best of the group. Which, if you're Stel, you are not loving that sentence. Right now, the 18 points for BR4, 16 points for Stel. which would make the championship lead going into 2 races left of the season a singular point. Which means we are going to get a grandstand finish by there that stands. Very interesting to see how this, then Mexico, will treat the 2 drivers. It looks like Stell's going to try in the background there. He got to the other side of Redstone. Redstone just keeps it tight, very tight on the outside there. And manages to hold it together until he goes into the gravel. He went onto the gravel on the exit, Lacombe, and he's going to get himself in trouble there. And Stell up in the 3rd. And all of a sudden the championship lead grows to 4. DDK is right on the back of Noble Gata. Don't forget DRS is not a thing in rain races, so being within a second only counts the slipstream. It doesn't really count for anything else, and this is F1 car, so it basically counts for nothing. Here we go, a little bit wide there from DDK. Sorry, BR4 hits the lead of the race. At the front of the grid here. Steger is now going to try and find a way back. BR4 taking that lead. Stell's 1.9 seconds off the group. These 2 get the chance to drive away, create some sort of a buffer now to 3rd and 4th, and BR4 will take the lead of the championship going into Mexico next week. 25 for BR4 right now. It'll be 15 for Stealth, so the championship will go 4 the other way. Actually, it'll go 3 BR4's favour. We'll see if there's going to be anything in there. So here we go down the back straight, down the Camel straight toward the end. Is there anything in this for Steger? No, there is not. It does have purple first sector though. I think Monster Cat and Owen are fighting it out. Those 2 came together now. Those 2 came together. Monster's gone through. Owen's now into last. Those 2 should be working together, trying to get themselves closer to Posey, because Posey's trying to hang himself onto the back of the grid right now. Doing it fairly well. Those 2 need to get back onto the back of Posey. Bunch of guys in the back are all, well, in the middle of the pack, sorry. There's about 6 or 7 of them in a train. Everyone up from back from Noble Gata. Starting to become that group. They're in the mid pack, and then you've got Noble Gata, Mieszko, actually Noble Gata, trying to make Mieszko get involved. And we've just had DRS get enabled. We have just seen DRS get enabled for the first time tonight. And Steger's going to love that. Redstone should love that if he can keep himself within a second of Stell, who's in 3rd. But these 2 are way off the way from Steger and BR4 in the lead. Noble Gata stayed out, DDK stayed out, Lars stayed out, Nakusa stayed out, Jaguar, Posey, Montecat, all of them staying out, apart from the front 4 who saw the DRS has now been enabled and have gone in. The Mieszko now takes the lead of this race. I don't even know how long it's going to be for though, because here we go with DRS for the first time. We are down the hill, down the Camel straight. It doesn't change anything at all. But Noble Gata just is not able to get close enough. Oh, Mieszko just sliding his way through the hill there. Looks like BL4 is ahead of Steger. BL4 is definitely ahead of Steger as they head down the hill. They've made their first pit stop of the day. I think there's hard tyres on the car there. It's hard for BL4, hard for Redstone, and medium for the 2 in between. Now things get very interesting. It doesn't look like it's raining at all, so the rest of the group are going to have to pit. Lars is off in the gravel in the background. So Lars is now back behind Nakuda. Actually creating a little bit of gap, given the fact that DDK and him are about to pit on the same lap. They're going to double stack, and he'll double stack Lars all the way to the back of the grid. Let's see, Steger's going to try against BL4 now. Mieszko into the pit, DDK stayed out. Here comes Steger to the outside. Is there anything in this? And they both come round! Oh, they both come together! BL4 comes off worse. He drops to 4th. Stell up in the 2nd. Redstone will drop behind BL4 now as well. And Steger and BL4 come together. Stell in the 2nd. What a catastrophe in the bus stop chicane there for those two. BL4 is going to be majorly under fire here from Redstone. This is exactly what Redstone wants. Redstone's in, well, close enough now to the lead of this group, and we're dry. So he is definitely going to tap into some of that qualifying pace here. And he needs to, because if he can tap into that, get himself potentially to the end of the race on just his set of tyres, there might be a win in this for him. Lars dropped behind Nakuda on what I believe was a double stop. It was. He is back behind Nakuda. That did not look great for Mieszko on the edge of headed down the hill. There on the hard tyres. Just DDK who hasn't pit. And DDK has got this very wrong. There we go. So Redstone still behind Stell right now, but it's really challenged him now. He's really going to challenge him now. He's got so much more pace on the dries than he did the wets. He could potentially be in cruise control this race in the next couple of laps. DDK's finally into the pit. Redstone 49.7. To put into perspective that last lap. Let's have a look at the best lap here then. Yeah, 49, about a tenth of a second quicker than Stell. A few tenths quicker than BL4. A few seconds quicker than BL4 actually for good measure. Bear in mind, these two in front of him are on a better tyre than him. Here goes Stell for the lead to open up the championship just a little bit more. Steger on the inside. Steger holds him at bay. And Stell just did not think of how the second half of that Lacombe chicane was going to work. Was stopped very much in his tracks. Well, we're going again. So all three of these guys are now well within overtaking range of each other. We'll see what they can come up with. Stell and Steger are going to have to do some Oscar Piastri levels of tyre saving to realistically get to the end here. I think we might be seeing an attempt from Redstone and BL4 potentially on those hard tyres to try and get to lap 22. Wonder which one's going to be quicker. Nobleguard 3.5 seconds off, then Mieszko, then DDK. All of those guys in their own little world. Nakuda's going to try and fight DDK sooner rather than later. BL4 now set the fastest lap before Nobleguard got a hold of it. The fastest lap doesn't give you a point anymore, so doesn't really mean all that much. Monster's up in the ninth, so he's getting a couple of places. Also, Lars has a penalty. I'm not sure what for, but we're not going to watch that right now because Stell is going to try again. Try for the lead, he does. gets into the lead, he does. Redstone and Stegger almost came together heading into the corner, and Stegger almost went deep enough to cut Stell off as well. And there's a little bit of gravel on the tires of Redstone in the Haas in third, who have BR4 to contend with now. They all navigate through that just about fine enough to get themselves through this second sector unscathed. We go through the middle part of this race now. Let's see what we got up and down the grid here then. So we've got the front four. Also got a little bit of a battle brewing here for 7th. DDK's got a penalty. You can only assume that is going to be a 3 second. Yep, that is 3 seconds for track limits. You got Montecat right behind him. So 3 seconds either side of Montecat. So no real threat to his position right now. The train following on from Nakuta backwards here. Nakuta's trying to get himself back to Mieszko. We'll see if he's going to manage that. Posey drops to the back. Owen up into 12th. Posey going to dive to the inside. This might be brilliant. No, he doesn't quite pull it off. Definitely looked like he had a chance for a split second there. So, Stell in the lead of the championship by 7 points, in the lead of this race as well. And while Stegger's going to close in on BR4, not really much of a chance here for him to close in on Stell. Stell is in control of the championship right now. Continuing on through the second sector. Everyone's split by roughly the same gap here. Nakuta's got himself a well within DRS of Mieszko now, so we'll bring in Mieszko into the battle for 6th. We'll see if there's going to be anything in this. Nakuta will have a shot. DDK will have a shot. Monster Cat might try as well for that battle for 6th. But for now, Stell has got to defend at the front. Looks like Stell is actually trying to break some sort of a gap to Stegger here at the front. Monster Cat might have a shot. DDK as they head up the hill. You might be waiting. You might have to wait just a little while longer. He shouldn't have really forced the issue into Eau Rouge, but he should force the issue right now. He will try and force the issue right now. They head toward the end of the Camel Straight. And he will get alongside, but it won't be enough. Monster Cat just stuck on the back of DDK for now. Mieszko and Nakuta are all gone in front of them. The Racing Bull got past the Red Bull. Right, the front really haven't been able to do anything to switch their positions right now. They're just going to have to wait for the tires at the front's tire to drop off. Which now means we're in a very similar waiting game. As we were at the beginning, I think BR4 just went wide there. Well, BR4 went very wide. On the back of this train, you don't want to be doing that. That puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage. We'll see. The BR4 managed to do that pretty well, get himself back into this fight without too much harm done. DDK might be going after Mieszko now. We're going to watch this battle. DDK is going to send it to the inside of Mieszko already. And he doesn't get it there, and that's probably why you want to be doing it down at the end of the Camel Straight if you can. And he doesn't really get it down the end of this straight either. Not enough downforce here for DDK. And DDK just in a bit of a struggle. Same with Monstercat, same with Lars. Monstercat will get promoted to 8th regardless. And right now, not really much of a chance to see him do anything other than that. We have to require a Mieszko mistake potentially to get 7th. Either that or for DDK to actually get the move done sometime in the next half century. Looks like DDK, yeah, just still not really close enough at all for Mieszko to really make this work if they go through Stavilo. They're just going to have to try, they're just going to have to struggle for a little while longer. And we are in very much 2 separate trains here at Spa, and they don't look like they're ending anytime soon. Yeah, and it's not going to end down into the first corner. DDK on a very poor entrance into that one. We'll have to see if he can keep the exit well enough to try and hold Monstercat at bay here in the Mercedes. I don't know if he will, you know. Monstercat's got a run. He's got a very good run. He's alongside already. They're both going to go after Mieszko. And it's 3 wide, heading into Lacombe, and that was always going to end badly. And 2 of them, actually, all 3. Oh my God, DDK just got swiped by his teammate. Trying to come on to the track. Unsafe rejoin, I think that might have been the case there. And the contact between DDK and his own teammate may have caught the safety car. We'll see if that's going to continue on. That car's not stopping. And I don't... Oh, there is a side road right there. He's going to get away with it. Gonna get away with that. We're gonna go without the safety car then. Yeah, DDK is probably not going to be too happy with that. I was always going to end badly. 3 wide into Lacombe. I'm not really sure what the expectation was there. The 2 medium drivers are pit. The 2 medium drivers have pit. Stell and Steger into the pits. I think that's Noble Gata behind them as well. I think the rest of the group has all started to trickle into the pits. Yakuza stayed out. I think Lars has stayed out as well. Monstercat in that group. Jaguar and Mieszko also staying out. That was a lot. I think that happened very quick space of time there. Redstone overtaken by BR4. And BR4 hits the lead of the race again. The advantage is massive. If they can get to the end of the race here, these 2 are going to be gone. Question is whether or not those tyres are going to go long enough. That is the massive question here. I can only assume it's soft on the car for Stell. And it's not. No, that's going to be an extra set of mediums. I know it's hard. For both of them. For all 3 of them, actually. Steger, Noble, and Stell all onto the hard tyre. Maybe they just didn't believe that it would work. From the lap 3 when they pit. Wow. Okay, so we are now in a very interesting position here. Redstone hasn't had the rate pace that I thought he would. I expected him, once we got out the rain, to just drive into the distance. He hasn't done any of that yet. Very much a qualifying merchant at the moment. Stell gets past Owen, creating himself more of a gap to Stagger in the process. Not going to matter much if he can't get back up in the third. Nakuda's going to have a very interesting situation to come about later on. We're going to watch Stell try and carve his way through the field here. Owen's gone to the inside of Mieszko as well and got it done. Fair play to Owen there. And of course, as soon as they come off the lead, Redstone's going to try and go to the front and does so. And we're going to go a little bit further up. Stell's 2 seconds back, so we're not going to watch that battle, but we are going to watch this one. Monster Cat overtaken by Lars for 4th. Oh, thank Owen has been able to hold Mieszko at bay, and he is going to hold on to 8th for now. Steger's about to come onto the back of these. Needs to dispatch them very quickly here to try and catch back up to Stell. Stell in the same period of time almost caught up to the back of Jaguar in the group in front of him. Very much wonder if there's an opportunity here. Stagger has past Mieszko, dispatches him very quickly. Stagger into 9th, Stell in 7th. Stell is going to have a real good shot. I try and dispatch Jaguar here. Redstone overtaken by BR4. I think Redstone's gone into pit. Redstone has gone into pit. BR4 is staying out. To be honest with you, probably their only chance of winning. Monster, that's far too deep. And Stagger's picked up 3 seconds worth of track limits. Now, if BR4 has to pit, they might be in a little bit of trouble. Well, Stagger's not going to do much. There's the yellow flag. I think that's Monster Cat. That is Monster Cat in the wall at turn 1. In the wall of the source, and he couldn't really got the car working again. That's Redstone out of the pits now onto medium tyres. Makes quick work of Mieszko. Got Owen and then Stagger in front of him. All of a sudden, the fight back may not have to be so stark. For who was the fastest man on the track in qualifying, he might just launch it now. They've come together again. Oh, twice in the same corner. And it's Owen and Redstone who went side by side down the hill. And I'm not entirely sure what the plan is there for Redstone, to be completely honest with you. I'm not even entirely sure what, like, it wasn't even a case of the corner's mine, you're going to have to acquiesce, but it's rather more contact, needless contact into the corner that followed into contact during the corner. I'm not entirely sure what the hell the plan was there. Careless error by Redstone, to be completely honest with you. Absolutely careless. It looks like Stell's going right after Lars right now, but he is being caught rapidly by Stagger behind. That's Owen into the pits. Owen into the pits. BR4 is still out on track. 7 laps. Well, actually, 8 laps to go. We've done 14. If BR4 can get to the end here, he wins. It is as simple as that. The championship will change. The championship lead will change hands. If this, well, they'll at least gone to the same amount of points as it stands. Stell's up in a second. Stagger just drives past Lars straight in the third. We'll see. Yeah. Oh, we got redstone DNF. We've got a redstone DNF. Not entirely sure where he's DNF'd. Or if that's going to even bring out a safety car. But he is out. He parks up on the side road there. Not sure we're getting anything out of that. And he is out. We're down to 11. And BR4's in. BR4 is into the pits. And now, with Stell 12 seconds back, the question is, what has BR4 got to give? Stell just put up the fastest lap of the entire race. They're going to come through turn 1 with BR4 still in the pits, not coming out of his pit lane yet. He has now been abandoned by the pit. Well, the pit limit has been abandoned. There's Lars in about 4 seconds grouping. That's a pit stop there for Posey. He is out of the race and we're down to 10. I think Mieszko may have had a bit of damage as well. That might have been something between those two that caused that. Posey's out, we're down to 10. We'll see if there's anything in this between Steger and Stell. And BR4 is going to try and make his way through in the next 6 laps. Bear in mind, Steger's got 3 seconds worth of penalties, so BR4 really needs to get to the front to challenge Stell, and we can potentially see the championship draw level today. We don't really know what we're going to get out of this, to be honest with you. If there's going to be any sort of action between the two at the front. BR4 is ahead of Lords. Up in the third, 3 seconds back. The real question is he quick enough to catch that up? I don't think he will be. He has brought it within the 3 second mark in a singular corner. So, 3/10 in La Sauce. Let's see what else he can bring out. They're both going to have DRS in front of him, so I don't think it'll be much of anything down the Camel straight. Montecat is up into 6. Nakuta, we're going to fight him. We're going to see if there's going to be anything into the Camel straight between these two. Nakuta is up ahead. And Mieszko's got 3 seconds for track limits. Won't affect him, he's at the back anyway. And there's not really much going on there, so Nakuta is going to drop Montecat quite quickly there. BR4 1.7 back. That gap has shrunk all the way down. Montecat dropped to 8th now. And Jaguar's gone past him. The gap at the front has shrunk. It's halved in a lap. All of a sudden, BR4 might be in the best position to win this race. The question is, how quickly can he get past Steger and put himself in a position to win? But that is comfortably the fastest lap of this race. Yep, fastest lap by almost an entire second. 1.2 is currently the gap. The medium tides are in a much better place right now. That gap have actually got all added back up into the end, into Rouge and Radion as well. Looks like BL4 is going to have a real good go here. This is the only battle left we have on track. The front three. Steger's going to be stuck for third regardless. Unless Stell and BL4 end up taking each other out. The only path to a win here. I was Steger. If BL4 got close enough, I'd be letting him through. You don't really get anything other than third any other way. BL4 is now within DRS range. He is on the back of the train. There might be something in this for the McLaren to try and take hold in this championship. I don't know if they will go straight to the lead. They will be equal on points though. Not sure who wins, who takes the lead on comeback. On countback, sorry. We'll go take a quick look. We continue into, out of La Source down the hill. It will look like BR4 would make that 3 wins on the season of Stealth 1, so BR4 winning this race. Ahead of Stealth would actually take him up to the lead of the championship. Steger looks for something there, doesn't get it. Only issue for BR4 is he's got a giant Sauber-sized problem in the way. There is no way Steger wins this outside of an instant between the two cars he's currently fighting. So he needs to let one of them go. At 3 seconds here, he's going to end third regardless. He needs to let BR4 go and pray there's an incident. If nothing else, he lets BR4 go, BR4 wins, and he gets a little bit closer. He has got to let BR4 go. That looked like a little bit of a lock up there from the Alpine. BR4 is trying every corner. Basically trying every chance he gets. He got the outside line into La Source. They're going to go side by side. A little bit of contact as they go through La Source. Even more contact on the exit of La Source. Again, Steger just needs to let him go. He's costing himself more and more time here. Just let the McLaren go. And I think BL4 is not going to give him the option much longer. And BL4, oh, that looked like a snap. But BL4 is ahead of Steger. It makes sense that you just could have saved yourself a lot of time there, giving BL4 an extra lap or so. Now I guess you'll have BL4 being a little bit more desperate to try and take the lead of the championship, might force an issue and take an, potentially land in a position for an incident. But the incident is the only way you win. The thinking there from Steger, not really where it should be. We'll see if there's going to be one here. I don't know if Steger's left BL4 with too much to do. Looks like Owen got past Monster Cat. Monster Cat drops into 9th. And a pretty good look at BL4 now. BL4, that is far too deep. That is far too deep here. You're going to come under fire from Steger now. I think Stell's out of DRS. He is. A massive lock up into La Source, though, and a half snap out of it. He is just about, yeah, he's thrown it away. Stell's thrown away his greatest opportunity of trying to hang on to stop BL4 here. BR4 should still get the open rear wing. He will. We'll see if there's going to be anything in this. I think Stell's still going to win this race. I think this gap is going to change into a 14-point lead of the championship. Nakuda's got past Lard. That would have happened anyway with the penalty. The BR4 has kind of worked his way back in this second sector. It's, again, one more lap of opportunity. Now has to force himself into a move or two here. This final sector needs to be perfect. As medium tires potentially wearing a little bit too much to give BR4 a nice actual shot at this. There's 6 tenths here. Stell's clearly got the quicker downforce, the lower downforce setup. That looked like a little bit of a lockup. Maybe just visual. This lap is going to be it. We're on lap 22. Two-way fight for the lead because Steger's got a 3-second time penalty. I really don't know if there's going to be enough in this with BR4. I think he's run out of time. I think he has run out of time. He is going to get within half a second now. They head to the bottom of the hill. That is not going to be close enough. That is going to be game. I think that's game here. Stell's going to use all the battery. BR4 is going to try. BR4 gets close, but he's not close enough. Too little, too late. As they head onto Lacombe and out of Lacombe, and Monster Cat drops to 10th. And Monster Cat just pit. He will definitely end in the in 10th then. BR4 is going to either have to have a perfect second sector to set him up into Blanchimont, or it's over. This championship may have just extended. This championship lead may just turn into 14. And that will be very hard to come back from with 2 to go. It's half a second now. It isn't going to happen. It isn't going to happen for the Chrome McLaren. It will happen for the Alpine. And Stell probably gets away with it with Steger helping. Well, Steger not really realizing that strategy should have been in main focus. And Stell round the final corner, he comes down the line, up to the end of Spa, and Stell, the Greek, is going to win in Belgium and take a 14-point lead of the championship. BR4 second, Steger third. And you got Noble got a 4th on what I think may end up actually clinching their champion constructors next week at this rate. And Akuza 5th, Jaguar 6th by default, the penalty. Lards in 7th. Owen will come over in 8th. He'll get a few points. Better than probably he expected this morning. And then Mieszko will beat out Monster Cat for 9th. There you go, rolling over the line. They'll get, I reckon Monster Cat might get within a couple of seconds here. He will, 1.5. But still at the back of those who finished. There you go. There's your podium. And once again, for the second time this season, featured the Greek on top. We haven't seen that since the very first race of the season. But a crucial time for him to do it. We have 2 more races to go next week in Mexico. Could clinch the championship for Stell if BR4 doesn't end up doing well at that track. May need some help from the likes of Steger to hold Stell back, create the gap a little bit, make the gap a little bit less. With that being said, that is how we end 5th to 1st for Stell. Beautiful in second, Steger. And in third, Noble got a fourth. Nakuda fifth. Great day for him. Jaguar 6th, Lars 7th, Owen 8th, Mieszko 9th, Montecat 10th, the last of the finishers, then Posey in 11th, Redstone in 12th after what was a promising qualifying, and DDK, who had the incident with his own teammate. Ended up being the reason why everything fell apart in the Aston Martin garage. With that being said, I've been Pyro, and until next time, I'll see you in a bit.